Tuesday Newsday has brought to us a grand reveal. Something that we've all already talked about quite a few times already is the movement of Ungrim Ironfist to the Slayer Keep of Karak Kadrin. And here we have him here in his little, in his resplendent glory with his little, I almost called it a mutton chop, but it's mohawk. And we also see this little pop-up for Oathbound, which I think is the one that's already in the game. And pretty straightforward here, right? You know, we're getting a new Ungrim star position. We're going to see him in this new position here soon with our whatever our May patch is going to be, and it's pretty exciting. You know, we have a new little icon for him too. Look at that little keep. It's going to be pretty exciting to see Ungrim in a new starting position because I mean, you think about it. Move this back a little bit. Move it back a little bit more. And a little bit more, and my fat finger can't fucking click a goddamn thing. You know, Kara's at Karak. We have a pretty good distance from these two. And obviously you can't just go like this to get to Zufbar. Or I'm sorry, where's Karak Kadrin? Right there. Sorry, I was looking at Zufbar, not Karak Kadrin. So the distance between these two is going to be a lot further. You're closer to the chaos. You're closer to the von Karsteins, to the vampire counts as a whole, and to the Empire. So it makes for an entirely different kind of standard campaign play that I'm pretty excited for. I've never really done a dwarf campaign all the way through, and maybe it's time because I enjoy playing them in multiplayer quick battles so much. So I'd love to kind of see that come to light. Now, one thing that some of the more eagle-eyed viewers kind of spotted, and something that kind of stood out to me is this little ditty right here, this new Hammer and Anvil. So with this new Hammer and Anvil, are we going to get something like runic smithing, like we've already seen with a mod in the game? This would be an amazing feature. I mean, because I know a lot of people were saying when Tomb Kings came out, hey, why the hell don't dwarfs have this amazing capability, since dwarfs are, you know, famed runesmiths and craftsmen. Artisans as a whole. So it would be a really awesome addition to the game. And for some reason, we can't see the left side of the screen. Clearly, they've cut it off, so I don't know if there's anything that's hidden there. You know, reveal that. What the hell? It's fucking conspiracy theory. My goddamn tinfoil hat's on. But you can also see this top portion is a Gromrel coin. In the fantasy RPG, when someone actually pointed out on the subreddit is that the Gromrel is part of the currency, the Gromrel being the most or the highest currency for the Karazhan core. So we have a lot of really cool stuff coming so far with this patch. And you think about it, another dwarf thing here, right? So previously we know we've got the giant slayers, and we've got the now Karak Kadrin. We've got the food rework for the Skaven. We've got the Norska hunts coming. So this patch is not necessarily a complete surprise. The Norska hunts we already knew. That's kind of like a throwaway Tuesday Newsday, to be totally honest. Nothing really kind of terrifying there. The food rework, definitely needed. Definitely an amazing boon. Giant Slayers, okay, I'm down with that. And then this move to Karak Kadrin, this has been promised long ago, and it's kind of great to see it come to fruition. So I'm excited to see that. Now, obviously with this video, I want to talk about another big reveal that happened over the weekend. And I thought, I'll be honest, today I thought that reveal would happen, so I waited to do a video on it. But there's the grand reveal we've seen of the IMDb cast member for the Queen and the Crone, or the Crone and the Queen, whatever one it is. DLC for Total War Warhammer. We don't know what that really means. He did the voices for Teclis and for the Queen and the Crone, for the Shadow Master, who is the leader of the Shadow Warriors. Shadow Warriors are a group from Nagaraith that are basically your skirmisher type unit of the High Elves. And in our High Elf lore video, we covered their deep history, their connection loosely to the Dark Elves, and to their cultural home of Nagaraith, and how that all kind of links back to their constant vendetta against the Dark Elves and besmirching their home. So it'd be lovely to see them in the game, because the way we've kind of talked about this before, the way I'd kind of envision them is maybe like some sort of AP unit in the game that finally brings some additional ranged AP to the High Elf roster, because they're in dire need of it as it is. So however they kind of do that, I see them almost as the equivalent of Shades. It's what they're supposed to be. In the tabletop, they have almost the exact same stat profile, plus or minus, well, actually, plus a few, or The Shades are more expensive than the Shadow Warriors, what I'm trying to say. Point-wise in the tabletop. The difference being that Shades have access to repeater crossbows, whereas Shadow Warriors do not. But what could the Queen and the Crone be? So if Shadow Warriors are the unit, then that definitely makes it High Elves and obviously Dark Elves. Crone, the only thing I can think of for Crone would be Morathi, the Hag Queen, or Hellebron. So boom. Obviously, that'll be an amazing lord to have on the table, or lady to have on the table, because she wouldn't be on a giant mount of the sort that is a beast. She'd be like our Luminarch, you know, she would be on like a blood cauldron, or cauldron of blood, I mean. And she'd be leading that as a witch elf legendary lord, which would be so cool. And on top of it, what could we have for the High Elves? It's the Queen. Well, there's the only Queen, the ever Queen, Alarielle. As much as I wish it to be, say, like an Eltharion or a Lithanar, it looks like those are R2. And what that could mean here is, what units are we missing from both rosters? So we're missing Shadow Warriors, obviously, and on the High Elf side, and we're missing Sisters of Aberlorn. There's some other options we could choose, but those I think are the two biggest standout ones. If you think about it, they bring ranged AP, or at least I think that you would take a look at a Sisters of Aberlorn, and in the tabletop they had flaming magical bows, so it would make sense if they had flaming magical bows in this. I don't know if they would have AP or if Shadow Warriors would have the AP. I would think one or the other is going to have it as just part of their role. Shadow Warriors are supposed to be like crack shots and can shoot basically, you know, between the kinks in armor, in the same way that Way Watchers or Deepwood Scouts can be. So that's the way I would kind of envision them, is to being that AP stalking kind of skirmisher unit. And what are we missing from the Dark Elf roster? Well, we're missing Manticores. We're missing Doomfire Warlocks. We're missing Sisters of Slaughter, and like the big deal, like Charybdis. I'm surprised Charybdis isn't in the game, to be totally honest. In fact, I think it'd be kind of cool if Charybdis came alongside maybe something having to do with other large creatures, maybe like a Dread Saurian. That'd be sick, right? But that's neither here nor there. So those are some of the things that we're missing, and Medusas as a whole. Medusas are part of the Dark Elf roster. So with Hellebron, I could see Sisters of Slaughter, because it fits so well under her lore. The Sisters of Slaughter are basically like armored, upgraded versions of witch elves, more or less, and I think it would make a lot of sense. Now, as far as another unit alongside them, I don't know. Doomfire Warlocks would be really cool. Doomfire Warlocks are kind of like Sisters of the Thorn, where they're a skirmisher, light cav unit that has bound spells to them. That's what they were in the tabletop. And they're kind of in the tabletop, they're like possessed by Slaanesh, and then that became not a thing, and then a thing, and it's all kind of a shit show. But I would love to see maybe the Doomfire Warlocks included. I would love to see Charybdis included, and I really would actually like to see Manticores. We've already seen Manticores in the game, but maybe they would wait to do Manticores alongside maybe like a Clan Molder DLC pack, to be like beast oriented around beasts and pack masters and beast masters, because both those races are missing their pack and beast master counterparts. So maybe that doesn't make as much sense as, say, Doomfire Warlocks or something of the sort. So that would, I guess, be my vote here. Would be Alarielle and Hellebron, and this is like spot on Indie Pride's video that he did like 5 months ago with the exact same name, the Queen of the Crone. So it's just like, oh well, maybe they actually do watch our videos. Shit. So that's definitely, I think, our lore choices for our units. I think for the High Elves, we're definitely going to see some Shadow Warriors. We've already seen some of that leaked, that linked line of code not too long ago that confirmed the Tomb Kings, and it had the Shadow Warriors on it. So maybe, of course, Shadow Warriors would be alongside them. We see that from the IMDb listing. And I would say Sisters of Aberlorn alongside them. You could do stuff like the Anointed of Assyrian. That's not in the roster. The Handmaiden is also in the roster. And the reason I say Sisters of Aberlorn is because the Sisters of Aberlorn protect Alarielle, and the Handmaiden is the leader for the Sisters of Aberlorn. So it all kind of blends together, and it makes a lot of sense to me to include them all in one pack. That's kind of why with Hellebron, Sisters of Slaughter make a lot of sense, but I'm not sure what other unit. Doomfire Warlocks would be cool, Charybdis would be cool, Manticore would be cool. Not sure which one they would stick with the secondary unit. And this is, again, kind of following off the same blueprint that I'm working with from the Belagar and Skarsnik, because that came with 2 new units. It came with 2 new lords. I think it came with heroes too, didn't it? Some heroes, I think maybe. I know it came with like the undead hero, or I'm sorry, the ghost dwarf heroes, and then it came with regiments of renown. So that's kind of the blueprint that I'm using as what this DLC pack is going to hopefully include. So that's what I'm going off of. It might include more units or less units. Who knows? It might just be Shadow Warriors and Sisters of Slaughter, or Sisters of Avalor and Sisters of Slaughter. That would actually be really kind of goddamn cool. But let me know in the comments what you guys think as far as what you think might be coming in a Queen of the Crone DLC pack. What High Elves and Dark Elves you'd love to see in the game that aren't in the game right now. I'm really excited to see what comes out here in May. We're probably going to see a reveal here in the next 2-3 weeks, because if we're taking a look at the calendar, and again, it's May 8th, and we've got 2 full weeks of May left before 1/2 week. This coming week is Mother's Day here in the United States, and then we have Memorial Day is at the end of this month. So they probably wouldn't want to do it around that time. So I would say we'll probably see a launch of the DLC in the last week or second to last week of the month, with hopefully a reveal, and then by the end of this week or next week. I mean, that fits around the same timeline. Or if we see a letter on Reddit posted by them in character, we'll know exactly where it is. But all right, guys, thanks for watching here today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know if you have any other ideas or your theories about what this DLC might be. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Take care.